Okay, so we're recording,
Live?
and let me just go live on Facebook. No, give me just one sec. I need to launch it first. Okay. Yeah, sorry, like Facebook is just asking me for a couple stuff, but give me just one second. Okay, cool. Okay, we're about to go live. Okay, we're going live, guys.
Great.
Let me just also
Perfect.
double check with my phone that we're live. Polly, whenever we're live, can you please share it on the group?
Sure. I'm
Thank
on
you,
it.
Han.
Just 1 second.
Thank you, Han.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're live. So welcome everybody. I'm gonna be your host tonight. My name is Rick. Here with me I have Polly. She's gonna be my co-host. And well, today we have a really interesting topic. Polly, do you want to introduce the topic?
Sure, today's topic is how do you prepare for rainouts, heat waves, wind restrictions, or unexpected weather shifts?
Yeah, so
Do
we're
you
gonna
have
be talking a little bit about like a lot of these things. And Polly and I we have prepared like some questions that we really want to hear like your experiences, your opinions over this. The first question that we have for you guys tonight is how do you communicate with customers when you have to cancel due to the weather? Like for example, Polly, can you give us an example from Bounce My House?
Sure, actually, we have the only weather policy we have is that we don't give refunds. You can reschedule your event 24 hours prior without any additional fees. So you can reschedule your event, but you can, if you cancel or something, you get no refunds from us.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Sounds fair. So, guys, anyone has anything to add to this one? How do you guys communicate with the clients? Maybe I don't know, like that you have a really good event and then it starts like raining or something like that, and you're like, oh God, no, no. Um, like what happens in this part? Like, what do you guys do?
Charge an extra $100 for cleanup. That's what I'm going to be doing for this Halloween season. I told all the customers it's an extra $100.
Oh, oh, due to the
Okay.
weather conditions?
Well, because it's supposed to rain, and if it rains, I got all my mega shit out. So, and it just like takes forever to clean them all. So I'm just charging $100 more because even if they tell me they're not going to come back muddy, they always just come back muddy. I just found that out from doing this forever. They're like, "Oh no, we'll clean it." I've had like one time a customer cleaned it and it wasn't, done. I was like, "Well, if you want to run on Halloween or November, because by me this is basically snow season. I'm surprised it's not even snowing yet." All my customers, I tell them if they want to rent anything, it's an extra $100.
Wow, sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good, though.
Yeah, but I mean, it takes a while to clean them all back up, make it look nice again. So I mean, they get pretty muddy around here. I mean, the grass is just so wet. They hop in them with their sneakers on, and they just get so friggin' dirty. It's just a pain. So if they don't want to
Mhm.
spend the extra money, then I just don't want to do it.
No, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
And
Uh,
it takes like two people to monkey around with the megas, anyways. So that's why I charge an extra $100 for
Really, two
cleanings.
people? Like more or less like how much time?
Yeah, it's about time and effort cleaning it and getting it back up and everything. So it just
Hmm.
yeah, they just get too dirty. So
Yeah, but between two people, like more or less like in average, how long it takes?
how long does it take us to clean it and put it back up?
Hmm.
Mm, maybe 2 hours.
Wow. 2 hours from
That's a lot.
cleaning. That's crazy. Yeah, so
Yeah,
now
I
I
mean,
understand
just
how
because
much
they're so
cost.
muddy and the mud cakes on inside. We've got like a weird mud around here, and last time I felt like the kids had a mud war in one of them. I was so annoyed with it. So after that, I just said, never again. So
Yeah, no, I get that. But for example, if it's Halloween and they pay the $100 fee for the cleaning, and then it doesn't rain, like you give that money back?
no, it just goes towards a future party because they'll book with us again. They could book balloons,
Okay.
face painting, carpet cleaning, power washing, handyman services. I just do a wide variety of stuff. So somebody's bound to use one of those.
Oh.
Face painting, balloon animals. I do face painting. I do airbrush. So I do a wide
Mhm.
variety of different things.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I don't do any refunds at all. Yeah, I'm very stickler about refunds. So I think all summer long I did one refund, and that was because I couldn't make it to the party, and it was my fault. So that was probably
Oh,
about it. So
so no refunds.
nope, not at all.
Oh,
That's
wow.
something we're working on, trying not to um, the refund policies, especially with the weather. We had I think 14 deliveries for this past Saturday, but it was rain, and so that 14 dropped down to 6. And so I was trying not to. I'm in Chat GPT. How can I write this in here because you're trying to the policy. I heard you. You said bounce my house. They don't do the refunds at all. But you
No,
guys, I guess, and there may be something I'm going to do next year, like in my policy, like because we have the rain checks. I've been trying to. Hey, we can give you got a year's worth of a year to use this. So you're trying to. I guess you're kind of putting yourself in their situation. If I paid this amount of money because your birthday's only once a year or something. So, but we might try to put that in for next year because we went from 14 to 6. I have like counsel who people who I was blessed that I really only had to give back maybe I think one maybe two like payments back, but the rest they had only paid the deposit. So it was I didn't gain any money, but I didn't lose any money. So that was we was blessed with that though. But that's something with the rain because it's supposed to be raining. It's raining right now as we speak, and so
yeah,
he's trying to. But we had the issue. We haven't. I know Ray said you charge $100, and that's different markets too because I'm not able to get away with it here, like with the like that cleanup fee or whatever. We try to use a tarp. Matter of fact, it rained Saturday. Oh yeah, it rained Saturday and Sunday, and so I was out Monday trying to get them up and get them dried out with a temperature no more than 62. So you try to get them up and wiping them down so you get that smell. Because sometimes in vinyl get that little smell on it. So you put in the what is it, those little the little dry cleaner things in there to get that aroma. Because we have some inflatables, so they get wet. So it's kind of like you trying to hurry up. So that's one thing we're looking at, trying to encourage um the rain checks. So, but we might put. So y'all also probably. Am I saying it right? Um. So y'all don't. So y'all have it. You just give her. You just give the rain check.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Okay.
Do you guys still set up when it's raining or that's
No, I
wind
don't.
speeds above 15 miles per hour?
No.
We yeah
Nope.
yeah. We set up. I mean, if it's, I leave it up to the customer. Do you want to be out there in the rain? But like it's October and we still got another month or so. Like we're still going into December. So I always give that up to the customer. I'm not going to cancel it. Now, if you're looking at the weather, the wind, once it gets over a certain amount of the degrees. But I mean, I kind of leave that up to the customer. I don't necessarily, but that's kind of the part of the game of if it's. I mean, some people charge the same with a wet bouncer versus a dry bouncer. I charge a different price for a wet versus a dry because it is heavier when it's wet versus dry. But some people say it's a wet dry, so I'm gonna get that. So that's a. But we just try to. I know tomorrow we're gonna have some tarps out because it's raining today to kind of ease some of that the mud. But sometimes it does, like you said, Ray said, it does seem like they're playing in the mud. But that's kind of we're outside party company, so that's
Yeah.
kind of yeah.
Do you guys give the customers some kind of heads up? For instance, here in Bounce My House, we do what we call manager surveys, which 5 or 6 days before their event, we call them to confirm all the details for their event, the address, the surface, everything. And at the end of the call, we state some rules like no shoes, no sharp objects or glasses, blah blah blah. And at the end, we some recommendations. We say, in case you already have your bounce house and there's heavy rain or wind speeds above 15 miles per hour, please remove all kits from inflatable and turn off the blower. We give them some advice to turn off the blower and remove the kits from the inflatable. Do you do something like this to prevent some accidents or something with bad weather?
We do that when we set up. We do that when we, I mean, because sometimes if you're doing this 6 days in advance or 5 days, they're not going to remember. I mean, even though we send out the reminder, we try to, hey, this is, they enter here, they exit out here, no more than 5 to 8 kids. If it's a threat of rain, if it's raining, I said leave the bouncer up. Don't unplug it, leave it up because now just getting rained on. Now it's heavier, so just leave the bouncer up. If it's now if the wind is blowing, because they're not having a
Yeah.
like a wind thing out there. But if it's too crazy wind, you can cut it off. And when this kind of went by, then we kind of hate to blow it back up though. But when it's raining, I say just leave it up so the rain is kind of bouncing off it and not just heavy on it. I learned that lesson. You coming back to get a bouncer and it's full of water, so it's heavy, and you having it's not an outlet on the back of the house. So hey, can you open the door? Can you plug this in so I can get this water off it? Because it'll make it easier for me to fold up. But I've always, we always try to give those examples to the customer. Hey, leave the, you can get the kids out, but just kind of leave the bouncer up unless the wind is going like really crazy. Just kind of let it down from that aspect. But if it's raining, just leave it up. Me, that's my just kind of leave it up for me. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And once you're going to pick up after bad weather, do you ask the customer to turn on the blower or something, or you just pick up, being heavy and everything?
Like I said, to me, like we ask them to keep it on, like to keep the blower on, keep it on. So that rain does, like I said, it doesn't soak down on it and make it heavier. That's kind of how we have ours. Leave it running, leave the blower running so that water can get off. Yeah.
Okay. Someone else? We do ask the customers in the morning. We text them saying that if they can make us a favor and turn on the blower so we can dry out before we pick up. And usually they do. They're very comprehensive about this.
Is that an automated text that goes out to all your customers?
I have a snippet. I just look at my route, which customers are we picking up from, and just send the text to them, the snippet.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Oh, we have what's the other word, Rick? Can you help me? It's not a snippet. I forgot the word.
Template.
Template. Thank you. A template for this text, and I only changed the name of the customer.
Yeah. Or you can
So,
also put like
but you have to
can
pay
put
for
like
all
the
those text
custom value.
messages, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, but also like if you have like that template and you change like hey and you put like the custom values, the Event account will send it with their actual name. So it will just be like send, send, send.
Let me show you guys my template. Give me 1 second.
I'll have to do that on mine.
Yeah, and most of them they turn the blower on and it helps us to pick them up and it's not heavy. Give me 1 second. Dry out text. I'm sharing with you our snippet right here on the chat.
How many customers do you have that you normally set up for?
Around 10 to 15 every weekend.
Well,
Nice.
Yeah, if you want to cup it, it really helps.
good morning. Contact first name. Oh, with custom
So you don't
values.
have to do anything.
Hmm?
You just have to hit send, and it
Yep.
sends out to everybody, or what?
Uh,
Yeah,
or
and on Event Hawk, you only choose, well, what I do, I go to the routing from Inflatable Office, click on the customer, and I can send this on Event Hawk or Inflatable Office. And yeah, it takes once you're on the lead or in Event Hawk, you open their conversation, it takes the name and sends to the people you're opening their conversation or the lead.
Nice.
Okay, guys, so next question. Who's had success with flexible reschedule policies? That maybe, I don't know, because like I've been searching a little bit about like the business and all, and I've seen that a little bit with rescheduling a bounce house is a little bit difficult. Sometimes like the client says like, no, like I just want my refund, or maybe they just don't want the party anymore. Anyone in here has had any any policies that they actually worked?
I do reschedule all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, it works out good for me. I've never really had an issue. Most of my bounce houses, I say steady, but they're pretty expensive. They're like $450 for a bounce house. So yeah,
Mhm.
I get pretty lucky. So yeah,
Yeah.
Where are you at, Ray?
Buffalo, New York.
Okay, okay, Buffalo. Okay, okay.
Yeah, but I have all mega stuff. Like I have Mega Dinosaur. I got all like bigger stuff. I don't deal with the small bounce houses anymore. I got away from those. I got like 18-foot slides. All big stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to get away. I mean, not getting away from it, but trying to,
Yeah,
you
I don't
know.
want to deal. I didn't want to deal with those kind of customers anymore. So having I deal with a way better clientele now, and I'm happier for setup and delivery and stuff and getting what I want. And I've got probably like 6 mega, and then I've got 3 mega slides, and I stay pretty busy with just those alone.
Okay.
And I don't
So,
have to deal with the crap anymore. To be honest with you, my clients have been awesome all summer long. I used to deal with just like crappy clients and argument customers, and I don't know. So I'm just hitting up all nice areas and stuff. So I just love it.
with your no refund policy, have you had any? 'Cause that's one thing I want to try to get to next year to try to get on that. Because we go to different stores or and they no
Well, the
refund,
good
just
thing is like I
exchange
just
only.
offer a wide variety, and most of my clients that know me know that I offer power washing, carpet cleaning. So people that are spending like $450 on a bounce house don't mind if they, know that they can get the power washing done, they can get their driveway cleaned, they can. I just do a wide variety of services. So somebody's bound to use one of those. I do balloons, I do face painting.
So
So
so you have that.
yeah, so
But
I have like multiple options that they could choose from, or
but
other
but,
bounce houses. So
but bounce my house, y'all don't have y'all just have a straight policy of no refunds whatsoever, uh just a rain check at bounce my house.
Yeah, they can reschedule anytime they want without any additional fees. But if it's the same day, if they want to cancel, it's we take the 50% deposit. And no, I think it's the whole thing. We don't do the refund.
no,
That's on the day or that's on the or just so okay,
On
so
the
like if it's raining there, if it's so like it's Tuesday and it's supposed to rain Saturday or whatever, and it's the birthday or Wednesday, whatever day it is, if their party is Saturday and they say, hey, we're not going to be able to do the party, and they paid in full, they can only give a reschedule for that. They wouldn't be
That's
able
right.
to, they wouldn't
Actually,
be.
our policy says 24 hours or prior, but Tariq's rule is once it's not loaded on the truck, we can reschedule. So we had bookings that call the same day that the weather is too bad or something happened, and we can reschedule them as long as we're not loaded yet.
Okay. That's yeah. Like I said, that's something I'm working on for next year. Because I mean, I guess you're trying to see it both ways with the customer and your own self when you're doing. You have
Of
people paying a
course,
lot of money, but
oh
I guess
yeah,
but
it,
you want your money
trust me.
back. I get
I
that.
wouldn't work at flip flopper stores. It's 13 years of whole time.
We have a load fee. Like if the forecast says that it's going to be raining, we have that $200 load fee that we charge even if we don't go reschedule, because we've got big corporate clients. They just call us and tell us they want 4 games and to invoice them, and we know we're going to get paid for it. Well, last year with Halloween, everything got rescheduled and rained out. We went from the 14 to the 3 or 4, the ones that were able to do it inside. Well, we got load fees from every customer for loading up their shows.
Okay. Okay. Guys, how many time in advance you check the weather and everything for your events? For instance, we at Bounce My House check the weather every single day, but if customers want to book, we let them book. It's on them if they want to reschedule or there's bad weather, that's on them. We're aware of the weather, but we don't do anything about it.
So I have a 3-step process. I kind of do the manager calls beforehand. And that
Mhm.
way, it gives them an opportunity to say, hey, I don't want to do this. Let's rain check this, whatever. And that gives me the ability to not load it. Because the way I look at it is if I have to load it, you're losing your deposit. Because I got to put it on the trailer. I got to get it, it's taking up space. I'm hauling it around town. That's what your deposit's going to cover. If I make it out there to go set up, if you tell me the day of, I'll call you the day of too before I leave. I say, hey, I just want to make sure everything's still good. The address is correct, go through that process. And if I show up, then you've lost what you've paid for it. It's considered delivered. And once it's delivered, you pay for it. So I give them multiple times to be able to back out. That way I don't have this, well, I didn't know, or you didn't say. When we first book it, we tell them what the policy is. Then we call them a week before and do our manager follow-ups and then say, hey, there's rain scheduled for this day. Do you guys want a rain check? And then the day of, I call them again and say, hey, we've got it loaded. At this point, all it would cost you is your deposit. Do you want to reschedule this for later or whatever? And then if the customer throws a fit, I will give them a refund. But that's the only way I'll give them a refund. And the only reason I do that is because the ones that act like that, I don't want to go back, 6 weeks later and have to deal with them at another party. You know what I'm saying? Because there's going to be people that no matter what you do, you're not going to make them happy at that point. And then that's going to hurt your reputation. That's going to hurt your business. So it's like, sometimes it's easier just to cut them loose and let them go. I mean, I understand having that policy, but I kind of do it like a hidden policy. It's like you do it, but you don't advertise that you do it. So that way you're more likely to get the rain checks. And if it comes to that point, then you go ahead and do it.
Yeah, that's how we had it, Lane. We I mean, you in the same town I'm in. So with the rain, so we was out there set for what was it for Saturday. And, we sent out the text. We sent out the text on so their party is Saturday. We sent it out Tuesday. Hey, this reminder, making sure you want to add anything. And then the day before, we sent out the text. I was calling people like 7, 8, 9 o'clock. Hey, it is a threat of rain for tomorrow because you have people who don't read those texts. They get the text and no one responds to it. I'm just like, okay. I had one person I was thinking their party was outside because they put outside in the front yard, but it was inside. I was like, okay, well, that's good. Checking that. Okay, that's, so change that on there because they put the wrong thing on there. And so, but the other problem say, it's a threat of rain tomorrow. So I'm just making sure because, because some of my customers, like, they're not paying attention. They're just booking. They're just, hey, we just did the party, our birthday party Saturday, Sunday. And so I was calling them. I think the latest person I called somebody was like 8 o'clock, maybe 8, just trying to I'm like, Lane, I'm trying to make sure we still doing okay. And I had people so I had parties that were, I know you said the creative solutions. So their party was 2 to 5. I know not this Saturday, but the Saturday before that, it didn't rain until like between 4 and 5. I was like, well, if it's anything like last weekend, let's just move your party up. Your party is from 2 to 5. Let's move it to 12 to 4. And so I had one party, theirs was 12 to 8, and we moved it from 8:30 to 12. And I got out there, I called them, and I would say, I know I had 2 o'clock. I was like, hey, I'll just make sure everything, we just shut it down 10 minutes. I'm on the way. I'm 15 minutes away. And by the time we got there, it kind of started raining. So I'm trying to hurry up and get that. Had I waited, because it said 2, so we have to be cognitive of, so on some of those parties that were 2 to 5, I moved them up to 12. Some I dropped them off at 10. So you're trying to beat, because these are the people who had already paid in full.
Yeah.
I
That's
want
really
people
wise.
to get their money's worth. I want people to get their money's. I don't want them to think that we're getting over on them with theirs. So you paid because if I paid for something, I want the service. I'm saying, hey, I'm trying to make it the best possible reaction to. If your party's 2 to 5, hey, let's move this to 12 to 10 o'clock. So most of all my people, they had their bouncer by 10, 11, unless it was inside. If it was inside, then we just did kind of did the regular time. So they're at least getting their jump time, and most people are already aware. Like I said, we went from 14 to 6. So you're trying to make sure, even on that Sunday, we had like this past Sunday, most of them, because it was like the churches, this is the fall festival. I was looking all around town, and I was like, I'm seeing all these bounce houses out here. I was like, so we in the rain. So it is what it is around. So and we set up, I set up my 3 games. football toss and basketball tic-tac-toe and my ring toss soaking wet. By the time I got back, it had stopped raining. But you know, sometimes you have to just put on your hat and go out there. So, but those are some of the things
Have-
you
Oh,
have to do.
there's one thing I forgot. If it's a dry unit only, I won't let it go out
That's
because
smart.
I've had damage with those because I was told by the guys that repair them, they use different threads on the dry units than they use on the wet dries. And so when they get wet, the cotton threads will actually stretch and break. And that was what was causing damage to my units. So I quit doing that. So if it's a wet dry, you know, it goes out, even if it's rented as dry and it gets wet, oh well, it's not going to hurt anything. But if it's a dry only, I don't want it damaging my units.
What do you got? Cloth ones that are dry only?
I've got some bounce houses that are dry only, yeah.
So what is that, cloth?
No, it's vinyl, but it's not the vinyl that's the problem. It's the threads that stitch it all together.
I've
It's
never
just
heard of
different
only
stitching.
dry bounce house.
Oh, they got dry only slides.
Yeah.
I thought that was just like the cloth stuff.
No.
No. It's the stitching, the webbing, and everything that goes into it to protect. With a wet unit, they do more stitching, closer stitching, so that way water doesn't get as much inside the unit. Your dry slides are for your indoor facilities that have a slide that is never going to get wet. Then you've got your extreme wet slides that go on the water.
Which is why some of those slides when they get, or some of the bounce houses, most bounce houses, I mean, they don't take as long to dry out, but you are right with the threads on there. That's why, like my obstacle course that I had, I think that mud got soaking wet one time. It took several days for it to, and that was at 80 degrees outside. Because some of them, like when they get wet, the water just kind of sinks in. I had like an old school. It's it's very durable. But I had it 15 years. I've had it almost, well, I guess 12 years, and I know it's probably 25 years old.
If you want his pizza, it's done.
So some of those, when they get wet, it just takes a long time for them to dry out, which those make those even heavier when they get right now. Or that's one thing you say, Lane, like if I had some that I try to switch it out, well, this one's not available, but this one is. And so that's where they're the same price. So I send this one out. The obstacle course, if it's not going out, they kind of switch it to, like you say, those creative ways to do it. Like, because you don't want something that's already 300 pounds is getting wet and it's 500 pounds. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I've got
good.
one that's 475 pounds that was supposed to go out Saturday, and she wanted it out in the rain. And I was like, no, we're not doing that. It's a dry only. And this thing's already almost 500 pounds. Yeah, we're not going to get it soaked. That's not going to happen.
And it was going to get soaked.
Yeah.
Was it front yard or backyard?
It was actually a big, like, open field. She was having like a festival type thing for the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You don't want to put a couple tents under it?
Do what?
You didn't have enough tents to put under it to make it work?
Tents to put under it?
Yeah, like the bounce house.
Over it?
Yeah, over it. There you go.
No, like this is a giant playground. You're not gonna put a tent over it.
I know, I'm just busting your chops.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's one thing too. You're trying to see whether, like, is this $450 worth, this time? And sometimes, I mean, I've had that decision. I've had to back out on one. It was like I did them every year, and they wanted my 20-foot water slide, but it was going down like they're here. I said, no, because it's people book, but you kind of forget the yard until you get there. I was like, no, I got to go and get my other one. There's no way I'm going to be able to come back up this hill with this. So I was like, and now I know. I was like, I penciled it in there. So it's like, okay, they get the same one every year. Don't try to change it up. You get the same one. I can easily come back up there with that one. So that is some of the stuff you have to.
Man, I got in one the other day, and I thought I was going to have to put a winch at the top of the hill and winch the dolly up.
Some of them ones you'd be like, okay, this is for the love of
the
money.
whole yard was like 45 degrees all the way from the front of the house to the back of the house.
Oh my God.
There was one small spot that was semi-level that we put up the bounce house, and that was it.
Yeah. Or you get that house that it's a pretty house, but we all, either you've been there or you're gonna go there. The house on the side of the house, we went in the backyard, and the side of the house is all rocks. It's all pebbles. So you have to drag this bounce house and this cave it into the yard. I said, oh my God. I was like, okay, let me hurry up and get this. So you're trying to push it and drag, and that's kind of the ones you hate, or that just the grass. Of course, when it get wet, that some people's grass just sinks. It's like a mud hole, it's a sinkhole with the rain. So, but that's part of the business. We got another month or what 6 weeks for us. We got November, 2 weeks in. Yeah, so about 6 more weeks of this doing this for before the weather gets all of us. So, but so trying to get as much money as we can get.
Do you block off your water slides this time of year and stuff, and just rent them as dry slides only, or do you still let people rent them wet?
If you want to get them, I get them. Yeah. Certain things towards the end of the season, we have things that kind of go down. I blocked up like 2 of my water ones because they're like, okay, they're always on their last 3. This the time we get them repaired for next year or whatever, send them down. So I've taken 2 of them out, so you can't rent those. But everything is full, besides those 2. I got everything. So if you want one, hey, we'll take it out there. So
just looking at it, because I'm like, during the day, there's periods where it's warm enough to use, but you're not really going to have a long time to winterize it. So
yeah,
I didn't know how you played that in this area.
But most people don't even think about a water one. Yeah, no. So even though it was 85 degrees, about a week ago. Yeah.
Yeah, 85 and then 65 and then 70 and then 50. Yeah, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
Have you ever guys had any issues with any customer, not for the refund, just because of the weather when they're scheduling or something?
Those are the funny ones. I go real quick. I had a customer just several years ago when I was kind of still set it up, and well, you know what? We weren't able to really use it as much because it rained a little bit, and so could you give us some money back on it because it rained? I'm almost like, and I was still in my, and then I was like, now I don't, but it was like, I think I gave them back like 25. I mean, I was just, silly, but because like now that was, like I said, that's probably been 8 years ago or something like that. But it was like, could you have those? Well, okay. And sometimes like you be too nice. And what I say about that, because you can't do that anywhere. It's like, if it's a bounce house thing, like now, because you be like, why? I was like, this is not a bounce house. Okay, it's a rip in the bounce house, or the blower messed up. Okay, now if the blower went out, that's on us. Okay, I can adjust the time, give you more time or some money back. But for the rent, I have had that before. You like, okay, I guess so. But I mean, that didn't happen more often. I'll say, no, that's not a bounce house. Well, you get it. Yeah, that's not a us issue. That's the weather. I mean, I'm real true. When I first started, like year 1, 2, or 3, and I've been doing this for like 13 years. We was at a park, and this one you being too nice, and just gullible. You're not really the business. The park didn't have power. Like the power went out at the park, and I was like, well, I let them have some extra time, and now I'm almost like late to the next party. I was, you just not like, no, your party that has nothing to do with us. We set it up, and they weren't able to use it, and so we have to. You're trying, like you said, like Lane said, you're trying to get the customer service, but now I'm late for. That's when I only had like 1 or 2 inflatable. So you late for the next party because I don't want them, but that's not on us. The park, which is one reason I hate parks anyway. But because that's not you can't just go out to the back of the house and flip the breaker at the park. So sometimes they do have breakers out, but so that was some of those things you're trying to give them back some more time or money. Now I'm late for the next customer, or I'm running extra behind. So, but you have some of those. It rains, so can I get a discount or something? I'm saying, what they got to do with me? So it is kind of, yeah.
A couple of months back, we had an old lady that was booking a bounce house for, I think it was not a birthday. I think it was for a funeral or a life celebration, something like that. But this was a really old lady. And when she was booking with me. She was asking all those questions about the if it is raining, are you able to set up? And I was like, yeah, if it's light raining, we can set up and everything. But if it starts heavy raining, and I was like, well, if it's too heavy, we cannot set up. But if it's light, we can set up. And if it starts raining heavily afterwards, you can turn on the blower and take the kids out of the bounce house. Well, she was insisting on all these catastrophic scenarios that was like, okay, if it's heavy rain or a tornado comes, you remove the kids from the inflatable and turn on the blower, we would still be setting up. Are you sure? She called every day for a week before her event, asking again and again this question. So she drives me crazy.
Lord.
Next question,
Wait,
Rick.
right now that you were saying that, do
Yeah,
people really rent bounce houses for funerals?
of
Not
course.
bounce houses are supposed like
I
to be
didn't
sad.
believe that was a thing until I got my first one. We always ask, is this for a birthday, a family gathering? And when people say it's for a funeral, the first time I was like, are you serious?
I will
But yeah,
never understand Americans.
they do.
I
I
used
will
to
never
install
understand that.
AV equipment, and one of our biggest clients was actually funeral homes. And I was in there for a lot of funerals. And after I saw a dude crawl in the casket with the dead guy to take a picture, I'll believe
Oh,
anything now. I will. People are crazy at funerals. They'll do whatever.
are you serious? Crawl
I'm
into the
dead
casket?
serious. Yeah, dude crawled in the casket to take a
I'm dead
selfie with the
serious.
dead guy.
Last selfie, lol. Oh my God.
We should not be making fun of this. But I'm so glad I'm
After that, I'll
Spaniard.
believe anything that happens at a funeral.
Yeah. See you in the
Yeah,
next.
I can't. I don't know if we
Yeah.
did a
Like,
funeral
let's
before, but
jump
I
so
know
we
we
can
did
get higher.
yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
I know I've done a wedding, like doing the actual wedding. I've done it, not like the party. They wanted to keep the kids. I was like, but it was like it wasn't in like a church. It was like in the field or something. They was doing something out. But I'm trying to see, have I done one at a funeral? Maybe the wake or something. I mean the repast or something. But yeah,
I can
uh,
hear it now. Fun and done. We put the fun in funeral.
yeah.
Oh my God.
I've set up tents, pop up
We're gonna
tents for
get so
funerals at the
canceled for
graveside.
this.
Yeah, the tenth is
We're,
more common. But
we're going
bounce
to hell, guys.
I get it for the kids to keep them away, but we've had a lot of funerals, bounce houses for funerals, a lot.
Just like a question, like for funerals, people rent out like black bounce houses, or they go like with the colorful ones.
The colorful ones for the
Go
kids.
for the ones. Go for the ones that are lava. be like it's brimstone for you.
It's Minecraft.
The one with the big cross on top.
Oh,
Are we gonna have an IAPA, or have I done missed it
Pardon?
for the round
The
table for
round table
IAPA?
for Ayapa was last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
already
you,
passed.
you can watch the replay on YouTube.
I'm a season. This is my fourth year going, and I seen Calvin's gonna go. Lane didn't think he was gonna be able to go, but is going. It'll be fun.
I think
I
CP
bet
is
it
also
will.
going.
Yeah, this is my first time just kind of seeing. I'm probably won't be buying anything, but just to try to network and see some different stuff down and see all and take some pictures and video. I got a quick question. We've been talking about the rain. How do you guys deal with the when it's in the summertime and they're not getting a water slide? Hey, can we put a little water on this? It's hot out, so that's some of the stuff that we have to deal with too. Like if you're getting a regular bouncer, we're just gonna put this sprinkler system just a little bit close to the bouncer to because it's kind of hot out here, or they're getting a dry slide, or can we put some water on us? Like we have water slides that you can rent.
What do you
But
do in those cases?
uh, I tell them, please don't put water on the slide. I mean, I've set up in people's houses where it was a bounce house and they had a pool, like a full in ground and above ground, different places. I was like, if they, because like I said, once you set up, it's kind of set up. I come back on my football toss, kids on the top of it. I was like, why are you up here? So we set it up. You give them the rules, but it's kind of up to them. Because you're there. You gone. So we trying to please don't put water on this dry balancer. If they happen to be wet, try to make sure that it stays dry or muddy. Off. You get a towel. I'm like, or even I come back. Hey, I need for someone to get a towel so we can wipe this off. To wipe it down, because that does make it heavier if you're doing something that's dry and now it's soaking wet. I had one when I went to pick it up in the morning. It was I was like, did they put water? Because it was next to the pool, but it was the morning sprinkler system, and that it was like my dual lane combo. And I said, I know they didn't just put water all. I'm lying because I used them before then, but it was the sprinkler system that had it wet. It was soaking wet. But that's a whole other thing. I hate the early morning pickups. So that's the thing with that. So that's even with Halloween being on Friday. I think I tried to put that about a month ago, but it's like with Halloween being on a Friday, we got a lot of pickups that next morning, the overnights. So it's trying to get those from the due in the morning, and because probably some of those may be going out again for the next day or whatever. So it's always that like I said, when something's not supposed to be wet and it's getting wet. So it's kind of, please don't put water on this, but
They do. They don't care.
sometimes,
Do you charge a fee or something if they get them wet when they're supposed to be dry? You should.
I do.
You should.
I consider that damage. If they're dry only,
she said you should.
I consider that damage, Calvin.
Yeah.
If it's a dry only and they get it wet, that's damage. Now, if it's a wet dry, I'll charge them the difference between the two. But if it's a dry only, that's damage to your unit. Charge them for it.
For a cleaning fee or dry out fee or something, but you should charge.
Yeah.
Most of them haven't. The water, that's not as big of a thing. My thing has been that I've almost charged someone. I haven't charged somebody. I'm not as much about the water because you can dry it out. It's a little heavier. It's the silly string.
Ooh,
silly string. That's the no. And I've had a customer I didn't know it was there, or because you pick it up at night. And then because those things roll up and that stuff is when it gets in, what if it doesn't go out for another week or two? Now it's just sitting in there and getting tight or something. But the silly string, or when people say, what's a good idea? Let's put glitter all in this bounce house. Or let's have, just glitter type,
dust.
Yeah, and I had like my pink princess or pink combo, and he's like, they have just something. It's like that glitter just all over. I was like, how do I get this? That's some of the stuff I haven't charged somebody, but those are the ones that I probably should have charged. Because they
add
glitter.
some slime.
Yeah. I need. That's why, like you said, doing this slow season, I'm gonna be writing a whole lot of language into those contracts to have those. Hey, this is kind of iron. Hey, you say this stuff. No silly string. I just thought it'd be a good idea. Let me get inside the bounce house and spray silly string. I was like, who does this? So that's some of the stuff. I mean, I haven't got that in some years, but you still remember those ones just like that. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So guys, next question. What's the process whenever the forecast is showing you that there will be like possible rain, but it's not like 100% certain? That maybe you call your customer and be like, hey, so the forecast is saying that that it's like a 50% of chances that it will rain. I know you book like a dry slide. I recommend like better going like with a wet one, like and dry and wet, so we can just be like making sure like the equipment doesn't get damaged. Like, do you have any process for that, or do you just like go with the flow?
I call them and let them know what's going on and let them know what will happen for each decision, and then let them decide. That way
Can
they
you let
can't
us know Can you let us know a little bit about those decisions?
Try one
So,
fee, wet one fee.
yeah, well, no, that like I was saying earlier, I tell them, hey, if you want a rain check, we'll go ahead and rain check. If you want to wait until the day of and we get there, then it's going to cost you this much, but you can still rain check, of that day if you call us before we leave. And once we get there and set it up, if we set it up and it starts raining right after we're done, then that's on you. That way they know what to expect, they know what they'll get back, they know what their options are, and then they're the ones responsible for that, and they've got to make that judgment call.
Okay. And what happens? I'm not really familiar with this topic when it's hot, like Calvin was saying. When it's really hot, do you have some issues related to that weather?
Now, we had that problem this year. We did it. We did a college. I guess it was a college school that for K to 12, and we set up there every Wednesday during the summer. So it was 10 weeks. Towards those last 3 weeks, we're here in Arkansas, Little Rock, and the heat index got up to like 108, 110, something like that. And so it was like the smaller kids, 6 to 12 or 6 to 10 or something like that. So they had the heat. So we kind of like, well, let's kind of get it. Let's kind of move it earlier in the day. And, you prepared for that because we got they was doing like, like a bouncer every week. So I ended up losing not making like maybe $1,200, something like that, because they didn't do they only did like the snow cone and like some cotton candy. That's $160 versus they were supposed to get like obstacle course and slides. So it's like, because you're not being able to get them, when the weather, when it's so hot. So that's kind of stuff I hate, because you really can't, with the kids, because it was a heat advisory out. So those are the ones that you really can't, if you can't put it inside, and it was like the end of their of the summer program, so you can't say, okay, well, we can do this another day, because it was just really hot for them, that because it was early, and their thing was like 10 to 2, but it was still so hot. I still think they could have got it, but I guess it's still like a safety issue. So those are the ones you kind of,
Okay.
man, just give me about 5 degrees off, but you
Oh my
kind of
God.
eat that 1,500 you didn't make.
Is there some damage to the bounce houses with the heat or the sun or something?
What the
Damages to the bounce houses.
No, but it's just, it's just like you get up in that hot car, you get you a car, and
Yeah.
they got leather seats, and see if you kind of
It
burn it,
burns.
so it's just that, you get on there, that hot bounce house. That's why they're trying to put it in the shade, so because it's vinyl, it's just like you get in the car,
Yeah.
it's trying to put on some jeans and burning the back of, it's just hot.
It's
That
not the
aspect. So
bounce house, it's the people.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, like it's you'll get burned.
Bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice to know.
you get burned from the people too, huh? Yeah.
We don't have refunds for that either.
Like we had the fun box guys down here not too long ago, down here in Little Rock. And I got to go down there and meet them, and we helped teach them how to clean the bounce houses and stuff. And something that I had never considered was, because of the size of that thing, it's so large that there is no roof on it. You can't put a roof on something that large, because there's no way you can support it. You'd have to have columns and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And in doing so, they would have to shut down at those times of year that it got extremely hot, because of that reason right there, because it gets so hot, it will scald your skin. Like, it will burn you, because it's hot outside, but it's even hotter on what the sun is beating on. It's like you walk outside and it's 90 degrees, but the pavement's 110. The vinyl's going to do the same thing.
Of course.
Oh wow.
That's crazy.
I think that's why they recommend for the new bouncers to have an actual top over all of them. Because I know some of the older ones, you know, they didn't have that, but the new ones, they have both the tops, the emergency exits, and then the sides going into them. Those are all standard things now
Yeah.
because those have all been issues. But yeah, that's a big one. In the summer, you get a dry bounce house, it gets hot. It gets real hot. You
Is
get
there
kids
really
out
for
there in their
real
short
like
shorts. And do what?
is there for real like emergency exits on bounce houses?
Yeah. Yeah. Because if that thing
Oh,
deflates and
wow.
it's got a roof on it, you got to get out of it.
They're usually put
Wow.
on the top. It's like a Velcro on the top of it. You can just easy
Yeah.
just kind of open it up
Ah,
on there.
okay.
Some of the
Oh,
newer
nice.
ones, I'm like brand new, like 2025, where they have like on the top end, like he said, like on the side on there. You can, or because I have one like from Bouncing Angels. It's a zip.
Mhm.
Well, if it's down, it doesn't really matter. It's like a zipper on the two zippers on the side of them. You can kind of go out the side that way. So, but yeah, it's some speculative ways because you know if the power goes out, the kids think, oh, you know, we're gonna, you know, I was like, we're gonna drown or suffocate. So you know, it's just a panic, especially if you have young kids or whatever on there. So the
Actually, there's a TV series where this happens, and the father of it was Malcolm in the Middle, goes with a knife and starts stirring the bounce house to get the kids out. I think that's not a good idea.
So, like, I can't
Imagine
be
you
the
saw
only
the
one that's done this, but I've been on, you know, say a slide or something where you couldn't reach a certain part of it because it's inflated. And so, just common sense, you tell them, hey, deflate it for just a second so it'll come down a little bit. And those things deflate so fast sometimes that, like, you end up in the middle of this thing with vinyl all around you, and then you start realizing that was really dumb. Like, I can't breathe, you know. And I can only
Well,
imagine kids that are not used to being in these things, that, you
Yeah.
know, they don't have that function. They're not thinking how to. And with me, you know, I've got somebody standing down there at the blower. With them, if it's going down, it's because somebody's unplugged it or a breaker's tripped, and it's not like somebody's just standing there to turn it back on. So yeah, that can cause a lot of chaos.
yeah,
Of course.
I just love like whenever Lane started talking, it really felt like a personal experience.
It's
Yeah.
definitely a personal experience, but like I said, I can't be the only one that's done that, I'm sure. Right?
And you feel
Raise
like
your
you're
hand
Nobody
if
else
you
is
have
gonna admit they're that dumb, right?
raise your hand if you have ever done that or just Lane.
Lane, I won't let you alone.
Just
yeah,
Lane.
yeah, no, that's you know what? That's how I clean some of my bouncers. Sometimes, like if I'm there at the party, I have my daughter or somebody cut off the board real quick. I get in the middle of it and I kind of pull some of the trash. You know, it kind of
Yeah.
because it's kind of coming towards you. It's easier sometimes that way than kind of scooting it out. Like if I forgot my leaf blower, I'll say, hey, cut the bounce off. I'm gonna get in the middle of it, cut it off, and then I'm kind of moving the trash, and it helps it because it's coming. You can scoop the trash quicker that way. Then they cut it off while I'm getting out, so I can go ahead and get all the trash out of it. So I have done that, and those yeah. Some
But
of
your
them are
girls
better
probably
than
love you
others. Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
Your
So yeah.
girls love you enough to turn it back on quick. My girls
Oh,
are
yeah.
not paying attention. They're like butterfly.
Yeah.
Daddy is
or when
drowning.
you
That
when
is
you
getting
in there,
suffocated.
yeah. I have a long extension cord and I put it through the side and I cut it off myself so I can put it back on, especially when you're there by yourself, because they do was like, where did he just disappear to? Like, okay, what's going on?
You know
So
what? I just got a million idea. Remote controls for the blowers.
low control for the ball. Yeah. So that's a good one. That's a good one.
We just leave them on like they're supposed to be.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah.
No, actually sounds good. Actually sounds good. But I can really like picture someone just like leaving the control outside and still like getting drowned and losing the control, which will be
Yeah,
worse.
that will happen a lot.
So let me
Yeah.
ask y'all, would bounce my house like with the weather? How is the weather there in? I mean, well, you're not in Chicago, but how is the weather there? Um, how's their season? Is their season
Rainy.
wrapping down now, or
Right now it's rainy most days.
okay in there?
Not heavily, but it's rainy.
So are there more their season primarily in September and October, November is kind of just like the um Do they get a lot of Halloween? I mean, October, because I've talked to somebody else that was in the Chicago area, and their October is really slow. It's like slow, like just
Yeah.
typically.
We started slowing down on September, and we've been slowing down ever since.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the off season already started for us.
Well, it seems like we have the opposite. Like we have a slow September, and then October goes up through the roof because it's the last. Yeah.
Actually, our slowest
Was
was
not
July.
expecting
I
that
don't know
either.
why. Even with the 4th of July, we had a really slow July, and then in September we went up big
Okay.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. Ours was the opposite. I think last year we had a slow July. I think we had a big July and then like a slight below average June, but it went up sky high in July. So it just kind of, yeah, you never know. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
Right now that you said Arkansas, I can only imagine. I always like remember when we had like this the buses conference, and well, if someone doesn't know, like Lane and Calvin, they're in the same area. So Lane is also from Arkansas, and I was writing his. We needed to put like their state, and I put like to Lane and Bethany, AK. That if
Oh,
someone doesn't know, like Arkansas is AR because AK is Alaska.
Alaska, yeah.
And Lane told me like 5 times every day, like, "Hey, I'm not in Alaska." And I was like, "Yeah, you're in Arkansas." And he just kept like, "Wait, Alaska," like for the whole week.
Yeah,
No, that I'm so sorry. I
that's
meant
like the
our
difference between that's like
yeah.
the difference between Mexico and Canada, man. That's like too
Yeah,
extreme.
huge.
Remember, I'm from Spain. I'm not from Mexico. I'm from
Yeah.
Mexico.
like doing Spain and France.
Spain and France, yeah, 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 yeah. But
It's
yeah,
I
more like
meant
Yeah.
Spain and
really
Greenland.
August, not September. We had a slow July and a really good August. Sorry, I messed up my months.
okay,
And then
okay.
September goes down and October goes up, or September
No,
also goes
it
down.
stays. In September starts going down.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
We have a slow September here. That's what I was telling Lane. I think when I called, say, yeah, we have September just historically slow. I think for the past 3-4 years, for us, it's just slow, and then October shoots up with the fall festivals and the carnivals. Like we got a lot going on this weekend. I think we got at one today and 6 tomorrow,
Nice.
7 Thursday, 13 Friday. And that's one thing too. You're trying to get these deliveries because you're like, okay, this is the last. Like they're not gonna be able to do this until next year. So you're trying to get as many as you can get and trying to, hey, don't worry about the rain. We'll take out the wetbacks or the keep a towel with us in the car. So you're trying to get as much as possible. So, but
Of
it's what it
course.
is. So yeah.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much for being with us. We're wrapping up. It was nice talking to you guys. Thank you for joining us to this roundtable. And hope to see you next week.
Yeah. Have a great one, guys.
Have
See
a
you
happy
later. Bye.
Halloween.
Bye-bye. Happy Halloween.
And enjoy your Halloween.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye, guys.